In a small village nestled between the vibrant hills of East Africa, two brothers, Chike and Ao, shared a bond that was once unbreakable. Raised by their parents, they had been taught the values of loyalty, respect, and unity, all of which had bound them together through the years. Chike, the elder of the two, was known for his strength and courage, while Ao, the younger, had an adventurous spirit and a charming smile that made him popular among the village women. The brothers worked side by side, tending to their family's farm and helping their community. Their lives were simple, but they found joy in the closeness they shared, and the love they had for their family. But everything changed when a woman named Zola entered their lives. Zola was unlike any woman they had ever known. She was beautiful, independent, and free-spirited, with an air of mystery that intrigued both brothers. She had come to the village seeking refuge after fleeing from an arranged marriage in a distant town. Zola's arrival set the village aflame with gossip and speculation. Many men sought her attention, but it was the two brothers who were most captivated by her. Chike, being the elder and more traditional of the two, believed that Zola was a sign from the gods, a woman who could bring honor to his life. He felt an intense desire to protect her, to show her the life she deserved. Ao, on the other hand, saw Zola as more of a challenge. Her independence intrigued him, and her ability to keep her distance made her all the more alluring. He became determined to win her heart, even if it meant breaking the bonds that had long held him close to his brother. It wasn't long before both brothers were vying for Zola's affections, though neither had openly confessed his love. Zola, for her part, seemed to take a liking to both men, though she had not yet chosen. She was drawn to Chike's strength and sense of protection, but Ao's playful spirit and adventurous nature left her curious and eager to learn more about him. The tension between the brothers grew as each tried to outdo the other, each secretly hoping for Zola's heart. One evening, after a long day of work in the fields, the brothers sat by the fire, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. Ao, who had always been the more outspoken of the two, leaned forward, his eyes gleaming with mischief. "You know, Chike," Ao said with a smirk, "I've noticed that Zola spends a lot of time in your company these days. You've been doing a lot of talking and protecting, but I wonder if you've ever considered what's truly in her heart." Chike stared into the fire, his face hardening. "I don't need to hear your games, Ao. Zola is a woman of virtue, not someone to be won by tricks and flirtations." Ao chuckled. "I'm not playing any games, my brother. But I think you underestimate me. Maybe Zola prefers a man who can make her feel alive, not just safe. Have you ever thought of that?" A silence fell between them, thick with unspoken words. Chike's jaw clenched, but he refused to show his anger. His love for Zola was rooted in something deeper than attraction. He truly believed they were destined to be together. But Ao, consumed by a fiery desire to win, began to plot. He knew his brother's heart and mind were steadfast, but he had a way of getting what he wanted. And what he wanted was Zola. As the days passed, the brothers continued to compete for Zola's affection, each one trying to outdo the other in acts of kindness and bravery. Chike, ever the protector, would walk her to the market and ensure her safety, while Ao would surprise her with spontaneous outings, showing her the beauty of the wild landscape surrounding the village. Both men poured their hearts into these gestures, but Zola's heart remained elusive. One fateful evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, Zola stood by the river, her reflection rippling in the water. She had finally made up her mind. She loved both Chike and Ao in different ways, but the depth of her connection with Chike made her heart long for him more than it did for Ao. But Ao was relentless, his passion burning hotter each day. He had noticed the way Zola looked at his brother, and it made him furious. In a moment of bitterness, Ao made a choice. One night, under the cover of darkness, Ao approached the village elders with a story. He claimed that Chike had been seen leaving the village at night, meeting with enemies of the village, traders from a neighboring land who had been known to deal in illicit goods. He said that his brother was planning to betray the village for the sake of his own ambitions. The elders, knowing Ao to be a man of conviction, believed his story and decided to act swiftly. They ordered Chaik to be imprisoned while they investigated the accusation. Chaik was stunned and confused, unable to fathom how his own brother could do such a thing. "Why, Ao? Why would you lie about me?" Chaik demanded, his voice shaking with hurt. Ao looked at him coldly. "You don't deserve her, Chaik. You were always the older, the stronger, the one everyone admired. But Zola doesn't want that. She wants someone who can understand her, someone who can give her the freedom she desires. You were too blind to see it." The betrayal stung more than anything Chaik had ever felt. His brother, the one person he had trusted above all else, had turned against him for the sake of a woman. In his heart, Chaik knew that Ao's love for Zola had clouded his judgment, but the pain of betrayal was more than he could bear. Chaik's imprisonment sent shockwaves through the village. Zola, hearing of it, rushed to the elders, demanding to know the truth. When she was told of the accusations, she refused to believe them. But it was too late. Chaik had been locked away, and Ao had been hailed as a hero for uncovering the supposed betrayal. Zola went to Chaik's cell, determined to get to the bottom of the truth. She found her love broken and desperate, his spirit crushed by the weight of Ao's treachery. "I never betrayed you, Zola," Chaik whispered, his voice hoarse. "It was Ao. He's the one who has turned against me." Tears filled Zola's eyes as she realized the depths of the betrayal. The man she had trusted, the man she had hoped to love, had been deceived by his own brother's jealousy and pride. She knew she had to act, but the damage had already been done. The rift between the brothers was now beyond repair. Zola confronted Ao, her heart heavy with sorrow. "How could you, Ao? How could you do this to your own brother, to someone who trusted you?" Ao's face was hardened, his eyes cold and distant. "Love is a powerful thing, Zola. I did what I had to do." The village was divided, with some believing Chaik's innocence and others siding with Ao. The once harmonious bond between the brothers was shattered, and the village was left in turmoil. In the end, it was Zola who made the difficult choice. She knew that she could not be with a man who had betrayed his own blood. She left the village, seeking a life away from the chaos, the lies, and the broken hearts. Years later, Chaik and Ao would each live their lives, but the scars of their betrayal remained. Chaik never forgave his brother for what he had done, and Ao, though he had gotten what he wanted in the moment, never found peace in his heart. The love they had fought for had left them both empty, and the bond they once shared could never be repaired. And so, the village would remember the two brothers, not for their strength or their unity, but for the betrayal.